everyone, and welcome to the last week of the regular season review, playoff, and consolation bracket preview. I'm your champ, and Joel, I have the trophy as always, you know. I didn't have it last time, so I did want to, make it, a special, here it is. It's still in my possession, so I'm going to try to keep it there, at least for one more year. And we'll get right into it, Joel. I don't care how you're feeling tonight. You want to know how I'm feeling? I'm feeling I'm feeling undefeated, Joel Gibson. That's how I'm feeling. Mr. Modest has done the what was once thought to be impossible, has run the gauntlet 15-0. There will never be a team that can have more regular season wins in a regular season than this guy. I will always be there.
I mean, you'll be up there. You'll be up there for sure. It can be tied, and I do plan to come for you. You know, someone who's got a multi-year plan in effect might just surpass you one day, but we'll just see. Enjoy your moment.
Okay, well, 26 in a row. I can keep going with my moment if you want. But I beat Adam, played Adam this week, the number 4 team, against Mr. Moss, the number 1 team. It was 11-2. Adam came out firing out of the gate at him. And then he just realized, oh, Levine's not playing this week. No shot, and then quit right away. He quit. He still said his lineups, although he forgot today. But he immediately stopped that cycle bullshit. He was like, this is just not going to play. But I just want to say shout out to DeJounte Murray. He started the season injured as well. I've always kind of been a protector of DeJounte Murray, especially in our conversations with him. So, man, a torn Achilles, that really sucks for him. And I just want to thank him for the work that he put in this year. He will be missed in the playoffs. We'll see if we can bring it home for the big fella.
Yeah, he will definitely be missed by your team in the playoffs. That's a pretty big blow for you. That's a young player. That's an affordable player. That's a lot of stats across the board, and they're all just gone this year. Oof.
I've done it before. I've had players on my IR before. We're gonna be just fine. Luckily, they made those adjustments to the schedule, and I got a couple extra games from the Lakers and, stuff like that. So let's not worry about it yet. I'm still okay in position, but I'd really like Jimmy to go somewhere so he's not just sitting on my IR for the rest of the year as well, because then we start getting a little bit closer to in the weeds at that point, if you're asking. Next matchup is the number 3 team, Neiman, against the number 2 team. Both of these matchups could be potential second-round matchups. Cody wins this one pretty handedly, 9-4 last time I checked. I don't think all the games have ended here. Yeah, not a lot to say. I expected Cody to win this one. Yeah.
Yeah, no Embiid, right?
No Embiid, and like I said, neither one of these teams, unless Adam beat me, could have moved up or down anyway. So just kind of a status quo game for this one.
Yeah, I mean, Neiman's turning in a nice season. Is he top 4?
He's third. Another 10-win season. I think that's 4 in a row for him at 10 wins. Like I said, I think I said that earlier in the year. 4 years in a row at 10 wins isn't easy. That's for sure. Ask Matt. We'll get there, but ask Matt. Next matchup is Doug versus Phil. Doug apparently has a death wish and decided to play me. His first round, he sat everybody. And immediately afterwards, Jalen Johnson is announced out for the season. Coincidence? I'm not sure. Karma? Might be. Phil wins this matchup. So he's going to wind up being the 6th seed, as we talked about. Yeah, Phil and Eric, first time in the playoffs. Big Luka news, as we know, so we're going to see how that goes. Is he going to be back in time to have an effect on the first round? Some people were saying when Luka was still in Dallas that it was going to be hopefully before the All-Star break. So maybe they have him for 7 to 10 days, but he's going to be limited as fuck going to a new team. So they're in a tough spot no matter what way you slice it.
Yeah, this was one of the most interesting matchups of the week. We were watching it closely, and it was settled immediately. Doug had a chance to choose his own fate here. Mm-hmm. Without Jalen Johnson, it was probably predetermined, unfortunately, for him. But this makes things interesting.
Yeah, it certainly does. Let me tell you this. He could have, if he'd have won this matchup, he could have played Neiman. He didn't even have to pick Cody. He didn't even have to pick one of the top two teams. He could have picked Neiman as the 6 versus 3. I have thoughts, and it's very interesting. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Next matchup is Steven at CJ. CJ, down to $1 in free agency money, comes in and just takes it to Steven. Just takes it to him. He looks like a tough first-round opponent, that's for sure, because he just boxed the number 9 team.
Well, in a battle of the Homestead boys, TJ came out on top, which was the expected outcome. Always in this situation. Well, not always, but for this year, that was the expected outcome.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why CJ was going at the wire. He was already in the playoffs. I think I was already squared away, so I would have saved every dollar if I were him. But like you said, he got Steven, and I guess you get your wins when you can. And CJ needed some wins this year.
Yeah, you need just maybe 1 or 2 more. I
was really hoping Steven would stick it to him for the record.
Yeah, he will play Cody in the first round. Next matchup is Kyle versus Jake. Because of a prior disagreement that Kyle and I had in the messenger note, I won't say exactly what I would have said here, but I will say I cannot understand the decision for Kyle to play any players. I just can't. I just can't. There is a chance now that he legitimately might lose the number 2 pick, and I don't know what else to say. Why even put yourself up there? Joel beat you. He handed you the 12. He handed you the best possible pick outside of the consolation bracket. So if that's not how it works out, we'll get to that when we get to the consolation bracket because of the ties and everything. I just have no idea. He had no business. And while we're on the topic, you had no business playing anybody this week. You had no business. You and Kyle, nobody had any business in the consolation except maybe Jake if he wanted that big 4th win to be playing players. You've got playoff teams tanking for nothing in the playoff bracket. You guys have something to play for or not play for, we'll say. And
all that's backwards.
Everybody just went out there. So shout out to Kyle for getting that big 3rd win. Shout out to Joel for getting his big 3rd win against Matt. Joel, I'll let you say your piece. Matt does not get 10 wins this year.
Matt does not get 10 wins this year. You stole my thunder, motherfucker. That was really what I wanted to put out there.
Oh, sorry. Well, you said Matt, in the video last week.
Every time that I beat you from now to 2031 when I have your picks, I'm going to wear this Steph Curry jersey just as a reminder that literally immediately after the trade, I still beat you. And it was essentially just for picks. I already dropped Chris Middleton. He's on CJ's team.
Oh, are you saying you were invested in the future of Matt being bad?
I am deeply invested in the future of Matthew being horrible. Yeah, really, I don't have a lot to say besides, Matthew, you are a playoff team that just lost to a consolation bracket team, and you should feel horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly be questioning some stuff, and he wasted free agency money as well out there, which he needs in the playoffs, especially if he's going to go up against me if he gets by Adam. So
good luck against playoff teams, guy.
Yeah, yikes. That's a rough one. So with that being said, we'll move on. Anything on the season as a whole? I think this was one of the most compelling regular seasons that we've ever had. I really mean that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was the most compelling. And I was tanking the whole year. I only went after 3 wins. And I've been more compelled than maybe ever. I was worried that I would be bored all year, but it's been great.
Yeah. It's amazing what a little effort can do for you, right? That being said, I guess we'll close the door on my undefeated regular season. You guys got to witness greatness this year. Let's move right into the playoffs now. We're going to do the consolation bracket first because I have a little bit of explaining that I need to do here for seeds 10 through 12. Now, I am going to tell you how I am reading it based on the tiebreakers and everything, but these are subject to change. If Fantrax comes out and gives me different standings, I will use the Fantrax because how we are supposed to determine them are locked into the Fantrax. So it's my error and not Fantrax error. That being said, I have obviously Steven is the number 9. He will be the home team in the first consolation bracket. I have him playing Kyle at the number 12 spot. Now, I'm not sure about this one because I know that Joel beat Kyle, and in the standings right now, Kyle was actually listed as the 12, but both of them won this week, tying Jake's record. Now, if you look at Jake and Kyle, Jake and Kyle both split their head-to-heads this year. Same divisional record. All 3 of them have the same divisional record. So they would go to points. Kyle has more points, so he has the tiebreaker with Jake. However, Jake beat Joel, so it is a constant, there's nothing that we can go to, really, that would decide it based on our rules. So my guess is it's going to be just total points between those 3 players. If that's the case, then Joel will actually get the 12. Kyle will have lost out on his second pick. He will actually move the whole way to the 10 and play Jake at the 11. So it just depends on how Fantrax does this, but there's a real possibility that Kyle could have the 4th pick should Steven win, but he might end up with the 3rd pick. We'll see how it goes. But that's something. That's not what you want to do when you had a locked number 2 pick. I'll say that.
If Kyle, Jake, and I all sat in a room and figured out a way to make this as complicated as possible just to piss you off, would this have been the number 1 way?
Yeah, because you all essentially beat each other's opponent. You all had the same divisional record. Going down the whole way to points, which I didn't think was even ever going to be a problem. Points then completely flips it on its head of what it's been the entire year. So I honestly, I was confused, but I think that Fantrax might keep it the way they already had it predetermined with you beating Kyle. That's why you were the 11 in the standings and Kyle was the 12 in the standings. But like I said, you going up and now tying Jake really could, and I think those are the only 2 possible outcomes. It's either Kyle, Joel, Jake, Steven, or Joel, Jake, Kyle, Steven. So I think that it's just like a small rotation, but I think those are the only 2 possible outcomes. We'll know tomorrow, and the nice thing about the consolation is I manually enter that anyway. So I'll make sure to do that tomorrow. So don't panic tomorrow if you wake up and you don't have any games or you can't set your rosters or whatever. If for some reason it's not done by like 7 a.m., which I imagine it will be 7, 8 a.m., plenty of time, let me know. I can always set the rosters as well after I get it done. So just keep that in mind. With those two games, I think Steven wins and I think Joel wins.
Yeah, so just a reminder, the first round is a whole month, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I am picking Steven to beat Kyle, and I am picking me to beat Jake.
All right, and then assuming that it's the other way, and Joel, you have to play Steven, who are you picking in that matchup?
I will also pick myself, but with a little more hesitance.
I agree with the probably say maybe even a little more hesitance. And then Jake. Kyle already showed that he could beat Jake, so I'm going to pick Kyle.
Yeah, I guess I would pick Kyle there as well.
Excellent. Well, we covered all our bases, I think. So you watch. Somehow it's going to be the only combination that I didn't talk about. And I'll look like an idiot.
Me versus Kyle.
Yeah.
And Jake versus Steven.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the only other combination there is. So if that happens, I don't know what to tell you. Apparently, three-way ties are not my cup of tea.
If that happens, bring it, Kyle.
That being said, we will get into the playoffs. We will get into the first round, and these are absolute, okay? We went through, I spent multiple minutes, almost a full hour last week figuring out all the tiebreakers and everything. So I'm very confident in this. The first matchup, we'll start with the champ. He's back, going for 4 in a row. He's the home team. 15-0 record in the regular season. Doug picked to play him. Doug picked to lose to him. It's Mr. Modest. Mr. Modest beats Doug here in the first round. It's going to be a long month. You can try to cycle me as much as you want. I'm ready. I've had more money this year going into the playoffs than I ever had in any season ever. I am so ready for this first round. You have no idea. Jalen Johnson is on my side. I might buy a Jalen Johnson jersey just to wear after the All-Star break, so after I beat Doug, I could be wearing that jersey.
Yeah, on the Doug side, unfortunately, Russell Westbrook, hamstring, Trey Mann,
Trey's out. Yeah, Trey's out for the year.
Maybe it's a back, I forget. But Chris Dunn out, Herb Jones out, Kuminga out. The list is pretty extensive. LaMelo Ball out. It's all not good, and you're relatively healthy. Obviously, Jimmy Butler and
DeJounte.
And DeJounte being the exception. So I'm going to pick you. Jalen Johnson really is needed in this matchup, and he's not available.
100%. I love it. I'm glad Doug picked me. Made it easy. There might not have been an easier opponent. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate that. Next matchup is CJ versus Cody. Cody, 13-2 in the regular season against CJ, who is 7-8. He's the number 7 seed. I am going to pick Cody. CJ only has $1, but I hope he just makes Cody cycle all over the place. Find a way. Let's get Cody spending some of those extra dollars so he can't use them as much in the next 2 rounds. Looking at the teams, though, unfortunately, I'm going with Cody.
Yeah, I got from a source that I can't disclose that Ja Morant is fucking CJ Raw right now. But
he's giving him
I'm going to pick Cody.
He's giving him the jaw raw, bro.
The raw jaw.
Oh, there we go. That was probably better. Either way.
Yeah, I'm picking Cody. $1 cycle money is not going to get it done against Cody's formidable team.
Yeah, absolutely. Next matchup is Phil versus Neiman. Neiman is the home team, is the 3 seed, 10-5. Phil is 7-8, and he is the 6 seed. All of this, in my opinion, comes down to Luka and his availability. Every single bit, even more so than Embiid for Neiman. I think that if somehow Luka can come back even before the All-Star break, if it's after the All-Star break, I start losing confidence. I'm going to pick Neiman at home here. Man, it just sucks for Phil. But at least he got AD, who's going to eat in Dallas. But when's he going to play? I don't know what's going to happen in that situation. Really weird that he has both of those big players. And it just kind of came up. They, Eric and Phil, have both those big name players. And this just kind of comes up right before playoffs. So I'm going with the known over the unknown. Both these teams should be on the wire.
Yeah, they both should be on the wire. Will they both be on the wire? Question mark. I don't know, but the first round is a month, and a lot of things can happen over a month. A guy can get healthy pretty quick in a month. You know, if Anthony Davis only misses a couple games and then comes back strong the back half of All-Star break,
Yep.
that could really change things. What's going on with Norm Powell?
Norm Powell probably just took some rest.
Hip soreness, nothing crazy, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I am going to hesitantly pick the other direction, and I'm going to go with Phil and Eric. I'm going to give these guys a little bit of credit, and I hope that they run with it and they hit the wire. If they hit the wire, I think they can get this done. 15 straight games with no Embiid makes me pretty nervous for Neiman.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be close. Or I don't think that it's going to be like a blowout or anything, is what I was trying to say. Wow, I'm excited that there's a discrepancy in one. You know what I mean? Like, that's very interesting. Because then you got to wonder, well, who does Cody not want to see in the second round? Because I don't want to see Phil and Eric if I'm Cody in the second round. I'd much rather see Neiman. So, we'll see.
Do you think Spencer Dinwiddie becomes more of a player in the fantasy realm now this trade has happened? Because if so, that helps significantly the Phil Eric side of things.
Yeah, it's really interesting because remember how long Neiman held Spencer Dinwiddie and we gave him so much shit? I think it was last season or whatever, and he just held him for like $20 or whatever it was. And now it's kind of coming home to roost. It's an interesting little callback to last season. I kind of find those little things funny.
I love it, dude. I hope he comes back to haunt him.
Then he'll be pissed at us, although he's a lot cheaper than he used to be, that's for sure.
For sure.
Last matchup we got here is the 4-5 matchup. Matt, who has 9 wins, not 10, 9 wins and 6 losses, sorry. Versus Adam, who's the home team with 10 wins. This one I actually think is like a 4-5 matchup where I could make arguments for both sides. I've looked at it like all day almost, and I'm still not sure that I know who I want to pick, if I'm being honest with you. Because now Fox plays for the Spurs for Adam, you know, and man, he still has. I just keep going all over the place on this matchup. I think a big part of this is also going to be, is Adam going to stick to being on the wire instead of just cycling 2 and then being done real quick? I think he will. I think Matt's going to be forced to spend more money than he wants to in this matchup. But, hey, you never know. Another Voos triple-double could really get this done for Matt.
It is very tough.
Very, very tough. I've probably looked at it 8 to 10 times today, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm going to let you pick this one first.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Matthew because I believe that Matthew will hit the wire hard. I think Adam, if he is aggressive on the wire, can beat Matthew. But we have to see a full, solid week of planned aggression.
Yeah. And, we said the same thing last year about Adam in the playoffs as well, and Neiman. It's kind of been one of those running things of, are they going to aggressively hit the wire? They get themselves in these good playoff positions, and then they kind of just not necessarily fall off, but also like when I beat Neiman last year and how I broke him down using the ads and stuff like that. Same thing with Adam. It could really happen here. I'm going to pick Matt just because, if anything, he has more experience on the wire and he will just add people. He will go at it. And sometimes blind ignorance is better than no action at all. That was a compliment, believe it or not.
Yeah, in a very roundabout way. And the fact that Gigi Jackson has been on Adam's roster all season, up until the point where he actually started playing, just makes me nervous that Adam might not be aggressive enough on the wire. I think the amount of times I've mentioned that Gigi Jackson should be on the wire, Matt would have given in by now.
Probably. But the thing is you'd have been texting Matt. You'd have been, you know what I mean? You'd have really been giving it to him by this point. Wow, yeah, it's going to be so interesting because right now, all 12 teams have something to play for. Right now, this week, all 12 teams have something to play for. I imagine... Go ahead.
Can I correct you, Kamesh?
Sure.
So, I would say 11 or 12 because Jake doesn't have his pick.
Oh, no, you had to come out and say that? You had to come out and say that. Oh.
I'm just saying.
Well, then I guess Steven doesn't have anything to play for then either, because he doesn't have his pick. Cody has his pick.
That's fair.
Yikes.
It's just pride at that point.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody should be playing out of pride. But everybody is active right now. We're going to cut this field in half over this next month, at the end of the month, at the end of February. And then, I mean, you know how it goes. I'm so excited. I just want to get it going. And I feel like a month is so long to get through this first round. Because I'm looking past Doug, past this first round, Joel Gibson. I'm not worried that he picked me. In fact, I'm motivated. This has done nothing but soured me towards Douglas Bateman. Soured me to him and his team. You don't want me on...
I've never heard such vulgar language.
I know. You don't want to be on the commission's bad side. I can call him. He's my best friend, bro.
Soured.
Soured. All right. Anything else?
Use that word about gummies.
Anything else?
No. Good luck to everyone but Jake.
Good luck to everyone but Doug. I agree. And Jake. You know what, Jake? Fuck you. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you.
Yeah.